You can never play soccer like Okocha except you're gifted like Okocha. JJ, no academy in the world can give you soccer ability. They can only sharpen your skills. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Can I put it another way? God said to Jeremiah, before you were born, I saw you. I knew you. Before you came out of your mother's womb, I separated you and I ordained you a prophet. You know what that means? If you come from heaven, you're not a prophet. You will not become one on earth. Don't try to be what you're not. Be what you are. So if you're going to be globally competitive, you can only do it in something you have a genetic code for. Something you have a God-given talent. Something that comes to you naturally. Something that is almost like a hobby. But however, it's a mindset. But I'm saying that if you're going to be Olympic standards, because they have to go together. So somebody says, how do you develop an Olympic mindset? I have 3 examples that I like to talk about. They are my case studies. Okay, one is the Nigerian 1996 Olympic gold winning team in soccer category in Atlanta 96. People like Okocha, Finidi, Nwankwo, they were the Babayaro, and many other players, Amokachi, Uche Okechukwu, and so on and so forth. They had 2 goalkeepers. Now listen, that's one group. Number 2, the US Navy SEAL, sea, air, and land teams of the US Army, mostly from the Navy. Number 3, as a gentleman, he came to Nigeria in 1998 with a briefcase. He lived in Nigeria for 41 years. He left in 2019. He was born in 1934. He left at the age of 85. Unfortunately, he passed away this year. His name is Richard L. Kramer. He brought 2 organizations originally, Atto Anderson and Anderson Consulting. But over his lifetime in Nigeria, he became part of many great organizations. Lagos Business School, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Harvard Business School Association of Nigeria, African Capital Alliance, and many other organizations was a part of. How can somebody who came in with a briefcase, entered Nigeria in 1978, live an alumni network that is more than maybe 12,000 people, produce 5 cabinet ministers, left behind globally competitive organizations, of which he either chaired or founder or co-founder or very involved with, the Olympic mindset? So how can somebody develop an Olympic mindset? First, understand the concept of mindset. There are many mindsets out there. Dr. Dweck, who is a professor at Stanford University, talks about the growth mindset in her book, Mindset. So he talks about fixed growth. They are not the only mindsets, but her research focused on that. So there's abundance mindset, there's poverty mindset, there is Olympic mindset. There are all kinds of mindsets. Now, if we zero in an Olympic mindset, let's first define it. An Olympic mindset is a mindset that is globally competitive and is capable of becoming a dominant player in its industry. It's thinking. But it has to be tied to ability, because if God does not give you the God-given ability to play soccer, you will not achieve Olympic standards in soccer, no matter how much you try. Because that lack of ability will disqualify you. Because there are things that must come to you naturally. You can't learn everything on earth. So, for example, Pele of Brazil, who played his last soccer in 1970 when they lifted the trophy that year. They said of him that he understood the curvature of the ball. He was so talented in soccer. He started playing at 16, 17 and played from either 1954 or so till 1970. He played about 4 World Cups. He is a living legend. Just like JJ Okocha, Kanu Nwankwo. These people understand the game. They understood it before they even played for a club. There's so much talent in them. So how do you develop an Olympic mindset? Wow, very, very powerful. You have to understand the process of change. The process of change of mindset is hidden in a scripture that looks negative in the Bible. Matthew chapter 13 verse 15. It says that these people's hearts are wax close, that they don't want to change because they don't want to hear me, they don't want to see me, they don't want to be converted in their heart, they don't want to understand with their heart and be converted that I might change them. It looks negative. That tells us the process of change. How do you change the way you think? Because you have to change your thinking before you develop an Olympic mindset. The way you change your thinking is by changing, listen now, very powerful. What are you hearing every day? What do you read? What are you associating with? Do you hear long enough and listen long enough until you understand with your heart? And then there is conversion of you and then the results. So most people want results in life, but they don't understand the process of results. Results don't just happen. Results happen because there's a shift. So God says, let me transform you into a new person. Romans chapter 12 verse 2. By changing the way you think. So don't copy the behavior of this world. Don't do it. Say, let me transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. So you cannot change until there's a change. To change the way you think, you have to change. To change, you have to change what you're listening, what you're hearing, what you're associating with, because that's all you're meditating upon. That's why Job said, I have made a covenant with my eyes. Why should I think? Is what you see, you think. Is what you hear, you think. Is what you're associating with, you think. So to change what you're thinking and how you're thinking, change what you're seeing. So you have to read and read and read and read You have to read and read and read and read. If you are visual, you have to read. You have to find your strength. If you are locked up in traffic, don't just stay there. Turn your car into a school. Plug in the tape. Listen to the tape. Don't go to a meeting. Don't ever travel without books. Whether it's your device or physical book, don't go anywhere in life without what to read. Once you're waiting for somebody, pull out your book. Don't live an idle life. By the way, your time is your life, because God created time to create life. When you're wasting time, you're wasting life. When you're killing time, you're committing suicide. If you don't invest your time, you cannot reach your full potential. So you have to be a reader. Jesus asked the Pharisees who were troubling him. They came to him, they said, can a man divorce his wife for every cause? He said, have you never read? You're asking foolish questions because you don't read. You don't go to seminar. If you go to seminar, you expand your knowledge. Listen, the reason why you should expand your knowledge, the reason why people go to business school, it's not whether you graduate on top of the class. To change your mindset, and you will never be the same again. If you go to school, if you go to a college, and the college goes through you, whether you make a top class or first class is relevant in life. It's only amongst people, first class. Listen, what matters is that school goes through you. If it goes through you, you will produce results in this life, not according to your certification. So to develop an Olympic mindset is first change your mindset by going through the process, and then you have to go the extra mile to make sure that in this life, you're not doing something you're managing, because you are not likely to become an Olympic player if you're doing something you're struggling with. You cannot, if you don't know how to run, you can't compete with Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt was a natural sprinter, but then he worked hard. He couldn't be the champion just because he's working hard. He has to work hard on an area where he has a talent. He found that he had legs that could run, and then he applied pressure on himself. He used to drag weight to train himself for capacity, drag weight to train himself for endurance, persistence, and so on and so forth. So to develop an Olympic mindset is an intentional, deliberate effort. But first find your area of calling in life. Then change your thinking by changing what you're reading, what you're seeing, what you're associating with. And then now make up your mind that I am going to be the best in what I do. I'm going to go to, it's a choice, it's a decision. I'm going to go to the Olympics of my calling in life and be then willing to pay the price, because no shortcuts in life. Every shortcut will cut you short.